Welcome, students. Welcome to your state capital. Are you ready to fight for student rights? Should a college education be a path to prosperity rather than a road to poverty?
Yeah.
Are you willing to work with us to tackle the student loan debt crisis?
Yeah.
Excellent. My name's Bob Wieckowski. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming today and showing your willingness to work and to take action to reduce this threat the student loan debt crisis poses to our economy and to our future. I'm proud to be joined on the stage with our State Controller, John Chung, and students from our higher education system, students who represent the future of California. Today, the student loan debt crisis, thank you. Today, the student loan debt crisis has surpassed a staggering $1 trillion nationally. The numbers keep getting worse, and we have our $1 trillion up there to remind us of the problem. Some have called this a perfect storm. There's a wave of lending, and the private student loan market increased by double-digit rates throughout the late 1990s and until the last decade. Many of those loans to students were increasingly risky. Then our economy was hit with the worst recession since the Great Depression. Jobs disappeared, eliminating opportunities for new college graduates who need to work to begin paying off their loans. And then state governments lost the revenue they depended on to invest in our community colleges and our universities. This forced the universities to increase tuition, creating a vicious cycle for today's students. While the cost of college went up, the career opportunities for college graduates went down. Now in some places, our economy is finally beginning to pick up some speed. But far too many college students today have that nagging question, which remains, how am I going to pay off my student loans? That's why earlier this year, I've introduced the Student Bill of Rights. It's a package of legislation that takes a two-pronged approach to tackling student debt. On the front end, by educating students and helping them become informed, financially literate consumers. And on the back end, by helping ease some of the burdens for those who graduate and are struggling and unable to pay their debt. I know about debt, and I know about dealing with families who are struggling to get out of a financial hole, because for the last 25 years, I've been a bankruptcy attorney in the Fremont and San Jose area, and I represent individuals and businesses who struggle each day to stay afloat. And I know that the road to recovery starts with education. So the first half of the Student Bill of Rights is education-oriented. We have AB 391, which creates common sense curriculum for K through 12, because California is one of 4 states nationally that does not include personal financial literacy in their economics education standards. So that's number 1, education in the K through 12. Secondly, Californians need to know before they sign on the dotted line with their private student loans. So AB 534 provides state requirements for entrance and exit counseling for students modeled off the federal requirements. A report by the Federal Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the U.S. Department of Education concluded that private student loans are much riskier than federal loans for both the student and the cosigner. They lack important protections like flexible repayment programs, forgiveness programs, and other safety features. AB 534 would provide parity among federal and private loan counseling. So that's the first half, the educating our students. We need to better protect student borrowers who fall into trouble. So I'm authoring AB 233, which prohibits lenders from garnishing your wages. Currently, those in California who cannot afford to pay their private student loans can have up to 25% of their wages garnished. By preventing garnishment, I am encouraging creditors to work with student borrowers to fashion a manageable repayment plan that can benefit thousands of students. Unfortunately, private student loans are a single type of debt that is no longer dischargeable in bankruptcy. It creates a gaping hole, and as the number approaches the second $1 trillion worth of student loans, we're going to see more and more problems. And lastly, AJR 11 will urge Congress to eliminate this ridiculous law that makes it impossible to discharge private student loan debt through bankruptcy. Since the law was passed in 2005, the average student loan debt has increased 58%. If gambling debt can be discharged through bankruptcy, if state taxes and federal personal income taxes can be discharged through bankruptcy, private student loans should too. My friends, last week we scored a big victory when the Wage Garnishment Prevention Bill was approved by the Assembly Judiciary Committee. I know that we're not alone in this fight. We have Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, State Treasurer Bill Lockyer, the California Student Aid Commission, the California Labor Federation, consumer unions, and other student, labor, consumer, and legal organizations across the state are supporting bills in this package, and with their support and your letters and your postcards and lobbying, we can pass the Student Rights Bill of Rights and help a generation of students free itself of debt and build a better future for the state of California.